Iowa State's loss to Illinois was a fluke, but it still made me want to throw up, and I hope that there were no children watching. This is Locked On Big 12.
You are Locked On Big 12, your daily podcast on the Big 12 Conference, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Happy Friday, everybody. It's happy unless you're a Cyclones fan. Welcome to Locked On Big 12. I'm Drake Toll from ESPN Central Texas. Thanks for making Locked On Big 12 your first listen ever. I actually don't work for ESPN Central Texas anymore. I said that because it is 12:30. Why are we starting these games so ungodly late when early times exist just for me to stay up to watch Iowa State lose to Illinois 72-69? Let's talk Houston, let's talk West Virginia, and let's talk me being very upset with the live throw up that I just watched from Boston. Does Iowa State shut down when it's on a neutral court and they don't have their fan base behind them? When there aren't enough Iowa State fans, when they can't bring a Hilton North or Hilton East or Hilton South, when they scored 26 points in the first half, but 43 in the second half, and you think, well, the offense was better in the second half. Why didn't they win? Because the offense wasn't good enough. It was gross. There were so many missed layups in this game. And guess what? Illinois wasn't very fun to watch either. That made this even weirder for Iowa State. I don't understand how like one team, the ball goes and just if you put it in your hands and you bring it to you, it's a rebound. That's usually how we do rebounds. And then the number one thing you should not do is throw the ball to the other team. You shouldn't grab it and be like, you know what? That was a fun rebound for me, guys. Why don't you take this instead? Iowa State had 9 turnovers, which isn't a lot of turnovers, but I think all 9 of them just sucked. And then Illinois on the other side. My goodness, 9 for 29 from the three-point line, from three-point land. See, this is what happens. This is why I record a podcast at 12:45 because they decided to play this game at 10:30 on the moon, and this is what happens. Bear with me. 52% free throw shooting for Illinois. 15 for 29. That is what we call in my industry bad. I played basketball until I got cut. My sophomore year, coach told me, you're not good enough. And the commentary I give you is not from an athlete's perspective. It's from the perspective of someone who got cut their sophomore year of high school. And I can still tell you that 15 for 29 is terrible. For Iowa State, 17 for 21 is great. Also, if you told me Iowa State scored 69 points, I would say, hey, that's good. And Illinois also was underneath their projected point total of 74.5. And I would say that's probably good. The defense wasn't an issue. The problem was as soon as in basketball, the same 5 guys play offense and defense. We can't just blame it on one unit. So what blows my mind is how you can be so unbelievably good, an American treasure as a team, as a 5 on that side of the court. But the second we cross the timeline, you say, lay up hard and throw the ball over the rim. The amount of times where it's like, oh, fast break layup, Iowa State, here we go. Nope, it's not anymore. It's throw it off the backboard to the other team. And Illinois got lucky on a lot of shots. So it's like, oh, that was, I can't wait for the shot quality projected score to come out. And that is, if everybody makes your layups, you make the shots that are high percentage shots, what would the score have been? I guarantee you Iowa State wins this game by like 10 because Illinois, to the point where you saw the one where the Iowa State guy, where the Illinois guy goes to throw the ball and it's bumped off a Cyclone and it goes in the basket. You're like, that's it. That encapsulates. And the Momcilovic kid, who I think rocks, he sucked. He had 1 point, 2 turnovers, and that is a bad ratio. Taman Lipsey is good. 8 points. If he scores 8 points, I know he's not exactly the offensive catalyst. 3 steals is great, and Gilbert had 5 steals, and that's what you want out of Lipsey. But 8 points wasn't going to cut it in a March Madness game where he's got to step up and be a dog. Otherwise, you're going to lose this game. And then Jones comes off the bench, and I thought that Curtis Jones, I didn't think it's subjective. He was the electric factory. He was the legitimate part of the game, the best part of the game for Iowa State. And in the end, it didn't matter. It didn't matter. Iowa State loses this game. Did they deserve to lose? No, absolutely not. I think they outplayed Illinois from the defensive perspective for sure. Illinois made some lucky shots. The threes they did make were very crucial, and I'll give them credit for that. Illinois is a very good basketball team, but Iowa State just looked like it didn't know how to offense. And 69 points is nice. It's good. It's good. It's not bad. It's not bad. 43 in the second half and 26 in the first half stunk. But this gave me flashbacks to that Pitt game last year that I keep bringing up. I hope all Iowa State fans I saw on my timeline, they're like, this will live in my head rent free for years. This was our year. We had we had so much talent. These guys could have done it. I will never forget that. I hope you don't. I hope, and I very seldom hope this, but I hope the players think about this one for a little bit. I hope they think about this for, I hope they do, because there were so many opportunities like, oh, they cut it within 2. Oh, they cut it within 3. All you got to do is put it in the basket. And then they didn't. They threw it over the basket. They threw it into the crowd and said, oh, oops. Another part of that, the effort was there for sure. Maybe that's the saddest part. Maybe it's the saddest part is watching them try so hard and then throw it to the other team. They're trying to throw it to their buddy. They're trying to throw it to their teammates. It's the good thing to do. And then they don't. And the other team, Illinois, gets a layup or a dunk out of it. Terrence Shannon, boy, had he stayed at Texas Tech, geez, that dude's just good. You know, he missed 7 minutes of the second half because of foul trouble and was still unbelievable. Like, you knew when he came off the bench. Also, they have a guy named, and plug your kids' ears for this. Plug your kids' ears. Dumbass? Kevin Harlan just kept saying dumbass. And I was like, whoa, a guy named that? And I think it's Domask, or it's you ever seen Shawshank Redemption? And it's Alexander Dumas, and the guy reads it dumbass. That's this. Do I have to flag the episode now as explicit? That's not, you can say that, right? Right? I'm not saying it. He had 7 points, which is just not good. 2 for 11s. 2 for 11s. Hey, he had 7 points, which is not good. And Taylor Lipsy had 8, which I'm trying to justify somehow in my brain. What are we doing, guys? 6 for 13 from 3 is not bad. If you shoot a couple more of those, the way Illinois was shooting free throws, you shoot a couple more of those, you only lost by 3. Maybe you win this game. Just frustrating. Fought hard. But what do you get for that? Nothing. Remember that time we fought hard and lost? Kick rocks. You know what West Virginia gets? A new basketball coach. This is Locked On Big 12, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. My manhood, my nether region is shaved clean, completely clean, bare. And then I took this droopy, goopy stuff, this aftershave stuff, and put it there. Thanks to Manscaped. This episode is brought to you by the spring cleaning champions, Manscaped. This season, make sure to groom your carpets and the drapes. With the leaders in the below-the-waist grooming, clear out that winter brush with Manscaped's Lawnmower 5.0. That's right. And watch your confidence bloom like springtime flowers. Did it feel a little weird at first? Yeah, I was like, oh, this is, I don't know, having that thing, just chop it away. It's like, I think this is going to hurt me. And it didn't. 10 million men have used Manscaped worldwide. With special offer right now, get 20% off and free shipping. That's like a stupid good offer, by the way. That's not in the script. That's just me saying that. At Locked On, code Locked On for 20% off right now. After using Manscaped, I have the spring fever. 2 interchangeable next-gen skin-safe blade heads. Truly skin-safe. I tested it out, though I didn't want to. It's like I felt like, this is going to cut me and I'm going to die. And I didn't die. It didn't cut me at all, and it worked out really well. And the shaving cream stuff, the post, whatever you call that, was great. And the thing is waterproof, so do it in the shower. Don't make a mess in your place. They have the Beer Hedger Pro Kit and Handyman Electric Face Shaver too. Those are great. 20% off, free shipping. Code Locked On at manscaped.com. 20% off, free shipping. Code Locked On, manscaped.com. Nothing like a little spring cleaning and in your pants. Today's show is also brought to you by Better Together. Better Together is where you go to be better together. I like daily fantasy sports people. If that's you, it hasn't been me in the past. Can I peel back the curtain here? Once we got Better Together, I was like, you know what? I'm going to do it. I'm going to try it. And it's been good. It's easy to do. You get like a social twist too. So like if I can't, it's like, I can't really watch this game. I don't know if I'm going to bet on this guy's props. Well, my buddy can do it for me. Your chances at winning effectively double because you're with the team. You're part of a team. Daily fantasy sports is fun alone, but what if you do it with another guy? It's like, hey, well, it's like be joint owners of this daily fantasy sports stuff. So you can pick more or less even on real-time stats, strategize with your partner to boost your odds and climb leaderboards together. Grab a friend and join Better Together. It's been a great experience for me so far. And I don't know if I trusted daily fantasy sports in general until I tried it, and I have had fun because you get to do it with friends. Download Better Together now from the App Store. Sign up using promo code Locked On for a chance to win your share of over $1,000 in cash prizes. Remember the code Locked On because winning alone is fun, but winning is better together. BetterTogether.com. Use code Locked On. I need you to know that West Virginia just got serious again about basketball. Can I tell you that I have nothing statistical to back this up, but I think West Virginia is one of the coolest, best basketball jobs in the country. And I can't wait. I cannot wait to see this new era of Mountaineers basketball under Darian DeVries, because that is a guy. DeVries is a guy who just wins. He went to Drake, which I think is a great name for a college, and he won. And now his son, Tucker DeVries, is coming to Morgantown. The fact that DeVries said DeVries, I'm going with DeVries. I've heard it both ways. I'm going with DeVries. He sits down with his son and says, boy, this, I guarantee, is how it went. Where do you want to go? What can we do here? Because, like Ohio State's open and Oklahoma State's open and Louisville's open. And this guy was a hot commodity. But West Virginia is a basketball school. That is a basketball state. That is a great fan base in general. And guess what? For Ren Baker and company, for West Virginia fans, I feel bad for you, because Neil Brown's a good guy. He's funny. He does funny videos and stuff. And I think Neil Brown rocks. He just hasn't been very good at the whole coaching football thing. And now he kind of is. And on the basketball floor, how can you control what happened with Bob Huggins? You can't. You as a fan didn't do that. You didn't ask for some of the really crappy stuff that's happened to West Virginia athletics the last few years, the last 5 years of just kind of pain. And I'm sorry that's happened to you. And I think this news should bring you out of a funk, truly, because his son, 21.6 points per game at Drake. They went to March Madness, lost to Washington State, and it just his after that, you know what? Let's do it. I think he's banged up too. He had his arm in a sling at his dad's press conference, which if you haven't listened to that press conference, it rocks. The dude rocks. They won at least 25 games in 4 straight seasons at Drake, tying a school record for wins this year at 28-7, according to the AP. 150 wins and 55 losses. My brother in Christ, that is good. And he was under Dana Altman at Creighton, and then Doug McDermott under Creighton. So that is that within itself. Is it Doug McDermott? Doug McDermott was the kid, right? Sean McDermott, the Creighton basketball coach, is not Doug McDermott, right? Sorry, it's Greg McDermott. Fine, whatever. 5-year contract worth $2.8 million in the first year with $100,000 in raises each year. That's also a pretty reasonable contract. We're not paying the guy a complete arm and a leg, so I think that part is good. A top 6 finish in the Big 12, again, according to the AP, in either of the first 2 seasons can earn an automatic 1-year extension plus a $100,000 bonus paid during a 6th season. What do I have to do to get a $100,000 bonus? I guess coach West Virginia basketball. Pay an unspecified buyout at Drake, according to his memorandum of understanding obtained by the Associated Press through a Freedom of Information Act. West Virginia, which joined the league in 2012, has never won a Big 12 regular season or tournament title. Again, all this according to the AP, and has last 3 finishes since 2019. I guess 2 of those under Bob Huggins, right? Or was it all 3? It's just tough. For DeVries now getting to be with his son, getting to come to the Big 12, to be at West Virginia, which is, has been a basketball power and is a basketball state and has the facilities. I believe this is the key to win right away. I think FanDuel.com has this jazz. I can go there and say, hey, FanDuel, this isn't even an ad read. This is true. I'm going to do this. Say, FanDuel, I bet that March Madness will feature West Virginia next season. I would put right now West Virginia in the tournament, and it starts with Tucker DeVries. The fact that that guy is headed to Morgantown is a really good thing. And he's got Pops coaching him. The big thing, you got to attack the transfer portal, obviously, but this is just good news. That's it. That's the point I want to make. It's a thesis I want to make. You get a guy who's won 150 games in college basketball. You get a guy who's been to March Madness multiple times now, who has owned the conference. His son has now owned the conference. Now his son, who's a very good basketball player, and will 12 gets to come into the Big 12. Reminds me like a Ray J. Dennis. Ray J. Dennis was the MAC player of the year. Now he's a Baylor. Had a really good year in Big 12 play. Now is DeVries going to be the best player in the conference? Probably not, but it'll be good enough to, in my opinion, push West Virginia over the hump and get them back in the March Madness conversation. Again, the same program that had Bob not done bad things, he would have still been the coach of this year, and they would have been a top 5 team in this conference. I believe that they had a top 5 roster talent-wise, and Huggins, albeit bad at the stuff off the court in a lot of facets, was fairly good at the stuff on the court. Stool guy. And so that being said, we've seen West Virginia do a lot of good stuff in basketball within the last year. Seen them recruit at a high level and just be yes. And I think that DeVries can bring that back on Locked On Big 12, part of the Locked On podcast. Yeah. Today's show is brought to you by Nissan. I drive a Nissan. I drive a Nissan, and my Nissan is dependable. Yesterday, I guess, to you that are listening to this, I had to take my dog to get the little snip. Yep, that guy got the big one. He got the big, the manhood's gone. I'll put it that way. And I trusted my Nissan to take him there. My Maxima, it's sitting outside right now. And you can trust your Nissan. Speaking of being trusted, by the way, how about like an NC State Wolfpack? I trust those guys. They're like the Nissan Rogue. Let's put it in March Madness terms. Less of the neuter talk. The team absolutely surprised the first 2 rounds, and now they're in the Sweet 16. They beat out Oakland, which sucked, but here they are. They get to play Marquette today. They say win life, go Rogue. And that's exactly what NC State did. That's what they've done. So take the Nissan Rogue, Nissan Pathfinder, or Nissan Armada and go find your next big adventure, or trust it to take your dog to the vet to get their nether region fixed. Shop NissanUSA.com. That also not in the script. Shop NissanUSA.com. Go there today. Houston will beat Duke. I'm a little worried about this game. I know there's like a dichotomy in how to start those two statements. Houston is 3rd in the country at forcing a lot of turnovers. Ninth in turnover rate, according to Shot Quality. So what does that mean? Let's break that down for you. They're good on defense at forcing turnovers, and on offense, they don't turn the ball over. They're also very good at high-frequency mid-range. They like to shoot the mid-range, and they like to make it at a fast rate. They're 32-4 on the season. They're 4th best in the country at spacing on offense. They're 5th in offensive rebounding. They're 6th in efficient three-point shooting. They do everything so tactically. Offensive stuff that I'm reading you for the 2nd best defensive team in the country. I love Houston in general. I believe they are the national champions this year, and Shot Quality loves them. They have Houston beating Duke by 5. Vegas has it by 4, so I take Houston plus the points. For a Duke team, they are obviously Duke. John Shire's squad is not a bad basketball team. That is for sure. At 26-8, they weren't as impressive in the ACC as they've been in the past under like a Mike Krzyzewski. And I don't know if we can trust John Shire in the postseason yet. I think the way that everything analytically stacks up, I know it bodes well for Houston. They are the 4th best team in the country defensively. Houston now, after the last couple of games, 4th best team in March Madness. Duke is 19th. That's not great. Rim and 3 rate offensively for Duke. They're 150. Defensively for Houston, they're 87. They're much better than Duke. As it sits right now, too, for Houston, the one thing that really has set them back, I guess 2 things that I'll point out here: free throw rate, which is 322nd in the country, and then open 3 rate, which is 100th in the country. They're allowing more open threes than they probably should, and they're allowing teams to get to the free throw line more than they probably should. But then let's look at the offensive game of Houston compared to Duke's defense. Houston has the 7th best offense in the country according to Shot Quality. That's how you say in our industry. Good. For Duke, their team is 9th defensively. So what you get there is a very strong, like, hey, here are 2 teams that play good defense, take the under kind of game. For Houston, they're 30th, I should say, 30th in shot making. So when they get the shot, they're going to sink it. For Duke, they are 300th defensively in shot making. You think defensively, you can't make shots defensively. What that means is that their opponents are really good at shot making. So when Duke gives you the opportunity to take a look, their opponents are making those at a very high rate. Houston, take advantage of that. Duke does get to the free throw line, or does keep teams off the free throw line pretty well, and Houston doesn't get to the free throw line well enough. They're 241st at free throw rate. Duke is 58th in allowing free throws. So to me, that shows if Duke is able to keep Houston effectively off the line altogether, and the defense for Duke is able to shut down the Houston offense, that's when things will get a little tough. Duke has been one of the luckiest teams in the country. They are 13th in the nation, according to adjusted shot quality score. Houston is 2nd. Of these 2 teams, the better one is Houston. We know that. And I'm going to side with them. There are ways that Duke can win this game. I was just reading off a couple. Why did I read off a couple? Houston is going to win the game. They're my national champion for a reason, and they're the better team in the matchup. And their defense is going to carry. Their defense is good. Their offense is good. They rate better than Duke in most major categories, both offensively and defensively. And for that reason, I'm in. I'm all over Houston. Jamal Shed is back. Just because he fouled out of the last game doesn't mean that he's got this one. LJ Cryer. Oh, come on. Give it to me in my veins, the former Baylor guy. And of the games today, I think Creighton and Tennessee will be a dogfight. I think Gonzaga could give Purdue a lot of struggles. I think NC State could still upset Marquette because we know that Shaka Smart in March always great. So I think Houston's kind of my surefire lock of the day. -4.5 for sure. Give it to me. -4, 4.5, whatever is that. Give it to me. Cough. I'm recording this at 1:00. It's now 1:08 in the morning because I live on the East Coast and they just don't know how to schedule basketball games. I had to stay up to watch the Iowa State game, and it just, why do we do this to people? Why do we do this to people? I'm a good, hardworking American man. I have like 3 jobs. I do it to put food on my family, and they make me stay up till 1 to watch a basketball game where Iowa State sucked offensively. This has been, it always will be. Come back tomorrow. Not tomorrow. Maybe Monday. We'll see. I got some Savannah Banana stuff going on I got to work for because I do love that job a lot. Locked on. Thank you for making it your first listen every single day. Dose Grande.